Hello and a very warm welcome. High in the Himalayas, in the Khumbu region of Nepal, lies the land of the Sherpas. This is the story of a journey through that world. Our journey began at Lukla airport, one of the world's most dangerous airports, where the runway drops off sharply into the valley, making every landing and takeoff a challenge for the pilot. Lukla at 9,383 feet is a Sherpa village in the Khumbu valley and the starting point for all expeditions heading into the Everest region. A day's halt at Lukla is always advisable to allow for acclimatization. For her 11-year-old daughter, this was to be her first major high-altitude trek and a seventh Himalayan adventure, her first being when she was just 2 years old. The first day's trek from Lukla to Phakding is along a gentle trail through the lower Khumbu region, threading its way up the Dingboche valley and passing remote villages surrounded by emerald green fields. The economy of these Sherpa villages revolves around the trekking season. Many have built lodges and restaurants along the route, while others supplement their income by working as porters. Crossing rickety suspension bridges is an integral part of the day's trekking, while prayer flags strung across them send a silent prayer heavenwards as they flutter in the breeze. The second day's trek from Phakding to Jorsale is more challenging. The trail becomes more rugged with a steady gain in altitude. The villages are less frequent and the views more dramatic, reminding you that you are venturing into big mountain territory. Buddhism is a dominant faith in this region, and one often comes across stupas adorned with prayer flags, marking a high point on the trail, or boulders with the eternal mantra, Om Mani Padme Om. A mantra to protect against negative energy, to purify, to awaken compassion, and to calm the mind. Ever so often, the silence of the trail is filled with the sound of the rushing waters of a stream, or of a waterfall cascading down steep rocky cliffs. Phakding and Jorsale are bustling mountain villages catering to the adventurer, providing a variety of lodgings and a warm bed with simple meals. Our daughter soon made friends with the Sherpa children playing around in the villages. There was a little hesitation at first, marked by a quiet, childlike curiosity from both sides, but soon the barriers crumbled as they warmed up to each other. After leaving Jorsale for Namche Bazaar, we entered the Sagarmatha National Park. Here our journey truly intensifies as the first major challenge is up ahead, the climb to the Pheriche bridge at 10,660 feet. Suspended in the thin air like a dark thread across the Dingboche gorge, the Pheriche bridge looks spectacular from below. The climb to it is steep and exhausting, and the crossing itself is daunting, with the bridge swaying gently with every cautious step we took, and praying that a yak doesn't appear at the other end. Once across the bridge, we were faced with the final steep, dusty climb to Namche Bazaar. It was humbling to watch porters carry heavy loads, their stoic attitude and quiet strength making us acutely aware of our limitations. Namche Bazaar, a crescent-shaped Sherpa town, is nestled in the bowl of the hills at 11,286 feet, its history woven into every Everest saga. We rested here for a couple of days, trying out the local cuisine and experiencing Sherpa culture, while allowing our bodies to acclimatize to the thin air. From Namche Bazaar, an endless trail winds its way higher and higher into the thin air. Along the way, we caught a glimpse of Everest, shrouded in shifting clouds, rather unspectacular, a bit of a letdown if you ask me. A large stupa marks the halfway point, a silent sentinel of faith, while Amadablam, shrouded in the layers of thick grey cloud, dominates the landscape. The final steady, relentless climb to the monastery saps all your remaining strength. At 12,687 feet, Tengboche Monastery is a place of incredible faith and resilience. The heart of the monastery is a central hall or dokam, with thangkas hanging from the walls and a magnificent central Buddha statue. While in the courtyard, prayer wheels await the touch of the faithful. A scattering of lodges offers a welcome shelter and meals. A day's halt here is mandatory to acclimatize and prepare for the days ahead. Standing almost at touching distance, Thamsherku steals the show, soaring heavenwards to an astonishing 21,729 feet. Looking at that vertical world, one is left speechless by the sheer beauty of the gleaming icy walls. Leaving Tengboche, the trail rises gently through scattered clumps of birch and conifers, while rhododendron bushes add a touch of a much-needed cheer to the rugged landscape. In these high mountainous regions, one often shares the trail with yaks carrying rations and other essentials to higher lodges. These sturdy, sure-footed animals can carry loads of 100 kg plus over extremely rugged terrain. A short distance from Tengboche is a nunnery for female monks. We were advised to keep our distance as they lead a secluded life and contact with the outside world is not encouraged. A long wall of stones carved with mantras runs along the trail for quite a distance. The trek from Tengboche to Pangboche is a long, deceptive stretch. Though the height gain is gentle with open, barren and rocky stretches, but at 13,000 feet, every rise and dip of the trail tests your endurance, forcing us to take frequent breaks. The weather too plays tricks, as the cloud rolls in without warning and the temperature drops sharply. The altitude was finally making itself felt. At Pangboche, we found refuge in a lodge that offered spectacular views of Ahmedabad, her steep southwest face and soaring ridges climbing to 22,349 feet, and the iconic hanging glacier, the mother's pendant from which it derives its name. As the sun dipped in the west, the last golden rays caught the high ridges, setting them alight, and for a few breathtaking moments, Ahmedabad was bathed in gold, a sight that made every agonizing step of the day worthwhile. Undoubtedly one of the most gorgeously beautiful mountains in the world. As the golden light lit up the surrounding giants, softening the harsh lines, we stood speechless, shivering in the bitter cold, but aware that we had been blessed for a few fleeting moments. Soon a ghostly blue twilight engulfed the mountains, and Ahmedabad was transformed into a foreboding challenge. The temperature plummeted and the cold soaked through our jackets. From Pangboche to Dingboche, the trail continues up the Imchakhola valley. At 14,000 feet, we were well above the tree line, and the landscape had transformed to a high-altitude desert. Here the wind had a new bite to it, sharper, colder. It's a steady, gradual ascent to Tengboche at 14,470 feet, with its usual ups and downs, but at this altitude, every step feels heavy. It is inevitable to meet yaks. Though known for the mild temperament, it's always wise to yield and let them pass. A final push, and the stone-walled fields of Dingboche are sighted, a summer settlement and a trekker's sanctuary, where local farmers grow barley and potatoes. Having reached Dingboche early, everyone decided to set off for a walk. Sweeping views of some of the world's most formidable peaks captivated us. Steep rock towers, too steep for the snow to settle on them, while others with delicate snow flutings and precarious hanging glaciers of packed snow. The elegant spire of Ahmedabad was now transformed to a more broad-shouldered fortress, showing its formidable northwest face with a sharp north ridge. And in the distance, at the far end of the valley, was the massive south face of Lhotse, Everest's mighty neighbor, a sheer wall of rock and ice, soaring heavenwards to an astonishing 27,940 feet. At Dingboche, our journey took an unexpected turn. I had not acclimatized well and needed an extra day's rest. I had two choices: return to Lukla with my family, or stay back while the rest of the group moved on, freeing ourselves of the underlying currents of discord and the tensions of group dynamics. The mountains have an uncanny way of revealing who we truly are, stripping away the layers behind which we often hide in everyday life. For us, these journeys are a kind of homecoming and also a time for inner struggle, both physical and mental. And through the hardships of the trail, our bonds grow stronger while we discover a little more of ourselves. Though the mountains remain silent, indifferent, and vast, they gradually chain those who dare to venture amongst them, rewarding the adventurer with those fleeting moments of intense calm and peace.